Upgrades, people, upgrades. Hey guys, and welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop. Today, another good one. You knew that was coming. Steve Harvey of the shop over here. Today, we are upgrading the illumination situation on the front of my HD touring bike. I know you're going to want to stick around for this one because Hogworkz got you set up. So if you're interested in seeing how we can't make this better, stick around. Now guys, when I say we're upgrading the front illumination of our Harley touring bike, I really mean it. We got the whole kit and caboodle from Hogworkz. We're starting off with the smallest, but not by any means the least, the switchback LED turn signals. These things are freaking fantastic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, first of all, they're fully LED, so this gets rid of all your incandescent crap. We will get to this, I promise, but it is freaking awesome. Secondly, the passing lamps, the two little ones next to the headlight. Solid upgrade. These are the Halo versions, which are freaking awesome. I will get to it. And the creme de la creme, the 7-inch main headlight right in the middle, high-low, and halo. High-low. Either way, these things are all LED, all insanely bright, and supposed to be insanely better than factory. And not to mention, Hogworkz offers a full lifetime warranty with all of their lighting. Let's get into these things so you can actually see them before we put them in. So starting off with these switchback turn signals. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with what switchbacks are, that means that these things are white all the time, like while you're driving, or let's just say your running lights are bright white. So actually it acts as another forward driving light in your turn signal. But whenever you turn on your turn signal, the white goes out and it turns to yellow and flashes like your turn signal. And they've even included different like caps for your turn signal bezels to not only house these lights better because it is different, but you see how there's like a diffusion ring around the outside? That is for the halo portion of this light. So when we get into the kit here, these come in a couple different varieties. There's 1157 and 1156. You need to know which one your bike takes. 1157 has the 2 contacts on the bottom here, and 1156 has 1. Make sure, absolutely sure, that you're getting the correct one whenever you order. But you see here, the outside, that is like our halo driving white light. And then in here is going to be our orange turn signal. But yeah, these things are pretty freaking sweet. And this cap that snaps on is obviously the factory sizing here, so you don't have to change like the bucket that your turn signal goes into. But you can see here how the middle, it kind of like, I don't know, it like magnifies it a little bit or intensifies the light. It's kind of acts like a projector beam, like if you're familiar with those type of headlights. But the outside ring here, it really is like a diffuser, so you kind of just get that glow and not really the look of an LED. But whenever we go to install these, then you'll see. Next on the list, the Hogworkz Halo passing lamp kit. So let's just take a moment and appreciate how awesome the packaging is on these things. It's like opening a new iPhone, like fancy magnet, hard box and everything, all this nice custom insulation. We get some installation instructions and the lights. So you take a look here. Look how snazzy that is. So we have the halo around the outside and then the insane LED for the actual lamp portion, the part that's going to project. Now back here, we have aluminum heat vents here to allow this thing to dissipate a lot better. And back here, this is kind of what the documentation is for. So if you have a 2005 or newer, this plug right here goes right into your factory harness, snap it in, put it together, you're done. If you have an 05 or older, they include this little whip here, so you can use the factory harness, well, 05 and newer factory harness, and then just tap this into your existing wiring. So they've thought ahead and included this stuff for those of you that have an 05 or older. But everything is pretty much plug and play, ready to go as long as you have an 05 or newer. But you still have the option if you have an older bike. And last but not least, the big Mama Jamma, our 7-inch main LED light. Would you look at this freaking thing? Like, dude, it's unreal how awesome these are. And look, there's even Hogworkz there in the lens. Like, man, these things are nice. Again, with aluminum heat fins here. And man, this is going to be an easy install. And digging down further here in the kit, again, we have a little bit of wiring here in case you need to adapt or do whatever you need to do to make it work. And we dig down in here further. They are cool enough to include the beauty bezel and the mounting bracket in case you want to replace it, in case you need one, in case you need to adapt, whatever you need to do. This is an entire kit for getting this headlight in your motorcycle. It's absolutely everything you need. Now, to get things kicked off, we're going to start with, dare I say, the easy part, even though all of this is simple, as you will see. We're going to go ahead and do the turn signals first. Now, it's a rather extensive tool list that you're going to need to do this, so let's grab what we need for the project. Come on over here, and a flathead and a Phillips. That's all you need. Now, in order to do this insanely intensive setup here, all you do is simply take your flat blade screwdriver, and on the outside of the bezel here, you're going to feel a notch. You put your flathead screwdriver in there, give her a quarter turn, the factory lens comes right out. Now, to remove the factory bulb, you push in, quarter turn to the left, and it comes out. Now, this is where I'm talking about checking your existing lights for 1157 or 1156. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you can tell this is an 1157 by the two contacts on the bottom of the bulb. Not to mention it says 1157 on the base. So we are absolutely sure that we got the right one because we match. Now we can go ahead and install. Now, whenever you go to install, take note that the tabs on the side, there is one low and there is one high. This thing only goes in one direction. You cannot screw it up. So we're going to go ahead, push this guy in, quarter turn to the right, the exact opposite of what we did to the bulb. Curl up the wiring so it's in here nice and neat. Push this guy down into the bezel until it's nice and seated. And then we take the Hogworkz lens and encapsulate everything. We'll go ahead and take the Hogworkz lens, and I strongly recommend that you put the little notch for your screwdriver right down at 6 o'clock. That's way you already know where it is, and it'll be easy to remove in the event you need to. And go ahead and push this in until it snaps. And that's all she wrote. Now, since we're kind of at a halfway point, you know, we went through all that extensive labor to get that installed. Since I have one new Hogworkz and one old factory, go ahead and turn them on so you can see the difference. And boy, howdy, is there a difference. Go ahead and give her some gigawatts. Right there, running lights. See what I mean? How cool is that? That this is now like an extra driving light, not just a turn signal. Now, here's the coolest part. Let's go ahead and turn on that turn signal. See, now the white goes out and we blink amber. So everything is cool for DOT regulations. And if we turn the turn signal off, we go back to the halo. Take a look at the other side just for comparison. A boring old just blinky, blinky, blinky. Now let's do our four ways just for giggles. Look at the difference in that. It is unreal. Not only is this sharper, cleaner, and brighter, but you're going to be seeing better. Now, I feel like it's fairly obvious to state what we did here on one side. Simply do the exact same thing on the other. I'll meet you back here in a minute. Well, now that's all done, let's look at both of them. Oh man, we're cruising in style now. Look how freaking awesome that is. We haven't even replaced the headlights, and this is already so much better. Go ahead and do left turn. Right turn, four ways. Man, that's awesome. And I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but you know, these are LED lights. They are not hyper flashing. If you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about, you know, like if you put LED lights in a car, the CAN bus signal freaks out because it wants to see the current draw of an incandescent bulb. Well, LEDs use significantly less power than a traditional incandescent, so it usually freaks out the BCM because it thinks that there's a bulb not there, so it wants to flash more, you know, give it more oomph or what. Either way, you notice these are not doing that. So this is already just like literally as plug and play and easy to go as it gets. Man, that's freaking awesome. Well, now that all that super hard work of getting that done is done, we'll go ahead and do the passing lamps and the headlight. And dude, this is so easy. So you needed a flat head screwdriver to do these. You will need a #2 Phillips head screwdriver to do these. The passing lamps, you take off this little beauty ring bezel thing, it comes out. The headlight itself, the main headlight, you take off a little Phillips head screw down here, the beauty ring comes off, a couple screws, it comes out of its mounting location, and just replace. Let's do it. I don't know why the heck I'm doing this on the floor like a schmuck. There we go. Muy bueno. Now, when it comes to the passing lamps, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, this Phillips head screw right here, we just need to loosen that. You don't even have to take it out. Just loosen it to the point where this bezel is loose. We can take this out. The factory light come right out with it. Excuse my fat hands here for a moment. Loosen this guy up. Remove the bezel. And there is our factory Harley light. Maybe a little help here with the tabs. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey man, if this is the worst part of this project, we're doing good. So you guys may have caught when we were taking that out, this back retaining ring like indexes for 12 and 6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and reuse that on the Hogworkz light. Spin it until it indexes just like so. It can only go on one of two ways. So we'll go ahead and make sure that we are straight up and down, which I think I have it upside down right now. Now, one more thing. Obviously here we have black and red for power and ground. It says very clearly in the Hogworkz instructions that we want to have the red 12-volt supply power lined up with the black and gray supply power wire from your motorcycle. And it's pretty obvious too, because the other one is just riveted right to ground of the case. So we'll go ahead and plug this guy in with red indexed to black and gray. Now we can go ahead and put this guy back in. Shove everything back up in here nice and neat as you can. That guy goes in there just like so. That beauty ring bezel thing indexes into a notch at the bottom right there. So we'll hold everything in place as best we can. Install the retaining bezel here. Make sure everything is lined up and about as good as you can make it. Then retighten the outside ring. And that's all she wrote. There we go. That's right. Now, just like we did with the turn signals, we're going to do a little bit of contrast and compare the OEM fixed light and the Hogworkz with Halo. Contact. Oh my goodness. Man, guys, I don't know how well that shows up on video, but like physically in front of it, it is unreal the difference between these two. I don't know if it's so much that like the halo is insanely bright, but you can tell too, like from the projection of the center part, it is crazy how bright this is. Whew. Okay, now that I've sufficiently blinded myself and possibly you. Yeah, we're going to do that exact same thing over here. You know, wash, rinse, repeat. That's all there is to it. So give me a minute. I'll get this one together. We'll do it. And there we are, folks, with number 2. And just about a minute or so, and you may even see me fumble with that ring putting it back on, but even with my digit dyslexia, it still only took about a minute. So, yeah, let's see what it looks like now. Jiminy Christmas, is this thing ridiculous. I tell you, man, do I really love those halos. It's just like, it's a whole attitude change up here. Well, guys, now that we got all that extensive work out of the way, we're on to the creme de la creme. I'm telling you, for as easy as everything else has been, this is no exception. Just a couple screws, we're in and out and down the road. Now, I suppose I probably could have done this at the beginning of this project, but anytime you're tearing apart stuff on the front of your motorcycle, go ahead, throw a cover over this like I probably should have done 10 minutes ago. Well, we got to protect this fancy new Hogworkz full wrap fender. But especially whenever you're taking out the headlight or like working on the fairing, God forbid you drop this thing. You know, you don't want a silly little easy project to turn into, oh, dude, I just wrecked my fender. So do yourself a favor, cover that thing up. So first things first, to remove the main headlight, bam, right there, this Phillips head screw. Go ahead and remove this screw all of the way, and that will allow you to then remove this outer bezel, like encompassing everything. Now, once we've gotten our beauty ring out of the road, the rest is super simple. Screw 1, 2, and 3 up here. That will remove this outer ring and allow you to remove the headlight from the bracket. Now keep a hand on this thing whenever you're taking out your last screw, because that's the only thing holding her in right now. Go ahead and remove the retaining ring. Pull out your factory headlight. Now, this may be a little bit of a bear to see. I'll see if I can't move you a little bit better. Now, right up here on top, on the back, really, there's no good way to show you this from where you're at, but it's pretty simple. Pull up on this tab, unplug the headlight. Well, it should be simple anyway. There it is. That's all we're doing. Just unlocking from that tab right there. Ooh, come here, you sweet thing. Look at it. Now, while we're over here, we're going to need this adapter I told you about. So, this converts the 3-prong on the Hogworkz headlight into that weird flat plug that we just took out of the factory bulb. So this is about as easy as it could be. Now, I strongly recommend, before you make this connection, go ahead and put a little bit of dielectric grease into every single one of these. Because whenever it comes to wiring, especially on stuff that lives outside or is used outside like a motorcycle, grease it up. Now, this plug only goes in here one way. Seat her in there, good and snug. Now, this is what mates to our factory harness. Now, when it comes time to put this thing all back together, it's about as easy as it could be. It's the exact same thing in reverse. Now, we take the adapter from Hogworkz, plug it into your factory harness. It only goes one way. You can't mess it up. Everything's notched. The tab's on one side. Click that in until the tab locks. That's it. Now, we can go ahead and fish all this crap up in here because we ain't going to be needing that no more. Now, I suppose if you wanted to take your time and maybe zip tie a little bit just to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to, by all means, go for it. But I got to be honest, I kind of like the extra length that I can bring this out and set it down to work on stuff and not undo it like the factory headlight. But either way, you know, it's your cat. You skin it the way you like. So we'll go ahead and put this guy in here, index it, and you notice how whenever you have it the right way, it like locks into the notches so you know you have it in the correct orientation. So now we have that guy in there the way it's supposed to be. We'll go ahead and put the locking ring back on and reinstall those 3 Phillips head screws. Now, before we tighten up that last one, let's go ahead and make sure this is as straight as we can get it, or at least as straight as you think you can. Whatever. Go ahead, tighten up that last one, and we are good to go. Sweet. Now all that's in, it's fastened down. Now I'm sure a lot of you may be asking, like, hey Dan, why didn't you use the Hogworkz mount that came in the kit? Solid question. Now, I could have, yes. However, the factory one that's in here not only works because Hogworkz thought of that and their light fits in the factory mount, but this one's already aimed. It's already correct. Like, I know it works, it's right because it worked with my previous one. Now, that's not to say because this is a different light, it may be different, I may have to aim it or whatever, but I have this thing, I can use it if I need to. It's awesome, it comes in the kit. But I'm trying to save myself a step. I don't know, I might be shooting myself in the foot. But either way, this works with all the factory hardware. So I'm gonna put this thing on the bench, maybe use it later, maybe not. I don't know. But either way, now we're ready for the beauty bezel for this thing. Now, when it comes time to put this guy back on, make sure you have your Phillips head screw hole down at the bottom. Make sure your hole is pretty well lined up and push. Nice, satisfying click. Everybody's home. There we go, line that thing up. We'll go ahead, put that screw back in there to secure the retaining ring. Uh-oh, without dropping the screw, please. There we go. Well, you guys know what time it is. Turn it on, see what we see. Here we go for the first time with the full Hogworkz Halo setup. Holy Moses. And that's just low beam. Let's just see here. Holy cow. That is a bright, bloody light. My goodness. Can you like see it on me? I can't even put you in front of it because it washes out the camera. Go ahead and do some turn signalage. Man, these things look so freaking good. Back to low. All right. Man, I really can't see anything now. Well, guys, go on and give yourselves a big old pat on the back for a job well done. You know, this is super freaking easy. I mean, what you saw was a couple Phillips head screws and a couple plastic caps to replace the turn signals. But boy, howdy, what an insane improvement. I mean, not only are, I feel like, better quality and brighter lights, but they got some pizzazz now. You know, a little bit of showmanship goes a long way. These halos are super sharp and they add to the lumen output. And speaking of lumens, I mean, when it comes to motorcycles, being able to see and be seen is a huge deal. So now you can see further, hopefully catch an obstacle before you're right up on it, and other people can see you from further away. You know, these things are the most vulnerable machines on the road, and the only thing keeping your head off the asphalt is a couple little patches of rubber. And the better you can see and be seen, dude, it's just good all around. I don't know about you guys. I am super, super happy about these. It's just, I am insanely impressed with how bright and just like the ease of doing this project. Couple screws, couple clips, bada bing, bada boom. And now we have like an entirely new front end with some new styling upgrades. So if you're interested in doing this for your Harley touring motorcycle, check out the links down in the description. Get on over to Hogworkz, check your year, make, model, check compatibility, all that crap. Like I mentioned about the 1156, 1157 turn signals, super easy. They walk you through the whole process. This couldn't be easier and so rewarding. So if you are interested, check out those links down in the description, and we will see you guys next time.